Today, we're getting into a game that was way more than just a loss on the schedule. No, this was an earthquake in the NBA standings. We're talking a massive winning streak snapped, a wild statistical night, and a single game that held one player's entire career in the balance.
All right, so picture this. The New York Knicks were on an absolute tear. They had just ripped off 8 straight wins, looking like a real contender. Honestly, one of the hottest teams in the entire league. All the momentum in the world was on their side.
But then, on February 6th, against a scrappy Detroit Pistons team, that momentum didn't just slow down, it slammed into a brick wall. The streak wasn't just over, it was emphatically, shockingly snapped. So you gotta ask, what on earth happened? How does a team this hot, playing this well, get handed their worst loss of the season? Well, let's break it down. Let's look at the anatomy of this absolutely stunning upset.
Yeah, this wasn't some last-second heartbreaker. This was a rout right from the opening tip. That final score, 118-80, that tells you everything you need to know. It was a complete demolition, with the Pistons just dominating the Knicks from start to finish.
But what's really fascinating about this game, even more than just the upset, is the incredible story of Pistons guard Daniss Jenkins. For most guys on that court, it was just one game out of 82. But for him, it was potentially his last shot.
With his entire NBA future basically hanging by a thread, Jenkins comes off the bench and drops 18 points in a career-defining performance. He wasn't just playing to win a game, he was playing for his dream, and man, he left everything he had out there on that court.
And to really get the pressure he was under, you need to understand what a two-way contract is. Think of it like the ultimate proving ground. A player gets a very limited number of chances in the big leagues to prove they belong before the team has to make a final call on their future.
And this just lays out the do-or-die situation Jenkins was in perfectly. This game against the Knicks, it was his 42nd and final eligible game. This was it, his last audition. It was either perform now or maybe see that NBA dream just slip away.
So, how did Jenkins and the Pistons actually pull this off? Let's dive into the stats and see how this blowout really unfolded on the court. The numbers tell a pretty crazy story. Okay, the game was basically won from behind the arc. Just look at this. The Pistons, who are usually one of the league's worst three-point shooting teams, were absolutely on fire, hitting almost 56% in the first half. Now compare that to the Knicks. Yikes. That huge difference is really what blew the game wide open. And while the Pistons were getting big plays from everybody, the Knicks star player, Jalen Brunson, had a night he'd probably like to forget. He struggled big time, shooting just 4 for 20 from the field and a pretty shocking 0 for 8 from 3. It was just the perfect storm for an upset. All those offensive struggles for New York, well, they added up to this number, 80. That's the fewest points the Knicks scored in a game all season long. It's really a testament to Detroit's defense and just how ice-cold New York's shooting was. Now, this wasn't just some random game in February. No, there's some real history here and some pretty big playoff implications that add a little extra spice to this matchup. These two teams, they've got this budding rivalry going on, and it's all about trading blows. The Pistons have actually owned the Knicks in the regular season lately, winning 5 straight. But when the stakes were highest last year in the playoffs, the Knicks took the series. This blowout felt like Detroit's way of sending a message. And just look at the standings. Every single one of these games matters. The Pistons are fighting to stay at the top of their division, while the Knicks are trying to keep pace with Boston. In a tight Eastern Conference race like this, a loss like this one, it's a costly one for New York. So after all the stats, after the standings, the story really comes full circle. Back to one person, the unlikely hero of the night. The game might be over, but for him, the biggest decision is just getting started. The Associated Press put it perfectly. The Pistons must convert his deal to a full NBA contract if they want to keep him. He played his heart out. He delivered a career performance when it mattered most. He did everything he possibly could to prove he belongs. So, the buzzer may have sounded on the game, but for Daniss Jenkins, the clock has just started on his career. He proved he can play on the biggest stage. The only question left is, was it enough?